All right. So did you know that like prearranged or arranged marriages are still a thing?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I thought
So
that was all.
it's like pretty common in like South Asia, where I think it's, if you looked it up, I think you'd probably see 20 countries that arranged marriage is still the main way that people are getting married, like India. So I wanted to walk you through this little like pretend exercise to get to know you a little bit.
All right.
So imagine that in America it was arranged marriage. So parents did it,
Yeah.
and you got to this age of 18, let's say, because you're 18,
Yeah.
right? And tomorrow's the day that your dad is going to go meet another mom and dad, and he's basically just going to like promote you and say, I want my son to marry your daughter, and here's what you need to know about my son. So do you live with your dad?
Yeah.
Okay, who else do you live with?
I live with my mom and my dad,
Okay.
and then I did live with my older brother, but now he's at West Point,
Okay.
so he just moved out, and then younger sister who's about to be a sophomore.
Okay, great. So you got 4 at home
Yeah.
right now. Your brother just moved out.
Yeah.
So your dad says, we need to get together tonight, like when you get home. And we're going to sit around the table, and I'm going to tell you, Quentin, what I'm going to tell this other father about you. And then your mom's going to say, well, make sure to tell him this about Quentin. And your sister is going to say, make sure to tell him this about Quentin, right? It's like the chance to make sure that, you want to be really true in that situation because you're about to like spend the rest of your life with this girl. But you want to make sure that you name like the main things. And so your dad's first. So he sits down at the table with you. You're all like sitting around, and he says what? What does he say that he's going to say about you to this woman's father? What are, like, if he had a very short amount of time tomorrow to say a few things about you that matter, what's your dad saying?
I think my dad would probably say, like, just talk about, like, my work ethic for, like, just all things, like, school, work, and then, like, relationships, too. I think he'd talk about how I have a drive to, like, perform well within, like, relationships and then, like, other duties. And then I think he'd just talk about, like, my character, mostly. And,
What would mom say? What would she say? Well, would she agree with those things?
I think so.
And what would she like slide in over there and be like, honey, you left out something really important?
It's hard to talk about this without thinking I'm just, like, tooting my own horn or, like, talking about that.
Well, I mean, that's it's got to be, you're trying to get, they're trying to get this girl for you, so you got to toot your horn a little bit, right?
I mean, I think my mom would probably talk about me being, like, caring towards others, and then, like, and I think just me being open-minded. I think that's a big thing that my mom would talk about.
Yeah.
It's just caring and open-minded. I think that's what my mom would say.
So if she were to give an example of something that there's kind of the normal stuff that people are open-minded about, like, I don't know, where we go to eat tonight, right? But is there anything that's kind of out there that this dad and woman would need to know? He's pretty open-minded about this one category, so it's good for you to know that. It's different.
I mean, it's hard to, like, pin something down, but I think just, like, people in general, it's not like I'll just, like, put them in a box or like
Yeah.
be like, oh no, I'm not gonna associate with them or talk to them. Like, pretty open-minded about who I hang out with, who I spend my time with, or like what I spend my time doing.
Yeah.
Even things that I like wouldn't assume I would like, or like, yeah, just things like that, that I'm open to try things or like be present with things that I feel like others wouldn't normally try.
Yeah, I love that. So let's take it to little sister. So she's like hearing all this and she's like, oh, come on guys, get real. Like you at least gotta tell this dad something that's kind of raw and true and, you know, maybe not the like sparkly stuff, but he needs to know, to be fair to her and to him. And she wants to like jab you a little bit, but in a real way, like just like, hey, let's make sure that we're being real here.
Yeah. I think she might also say that I can be kind of harsh, just like straightforward with people. And so that would probably be something my sister would say because she's seen that. And so
pretty direct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you feel like it's a direct in like a true way or direct in a like competitive way or a challenging way? Maybe all of them.
I'd say sometimes in like a competitive way, but most of the time it's just like just sharing my thoughts. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it or just like act like that's not what I'm thinking. Just like, I'll just say it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. So your dad, you know, this is all being talked about in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And your dad's about to like take off on his journey. He's got to drive far to this other person. And you're like, whoa. Like you guys are all talking here. Now I need to share something. Like what do you say is either right, you know, not right? Like turn that down a notch. You guys are being a little bit, you know, you might see me that way, but that's not all me. Or here's something that you're missing that I need to make sure you communicate. This is maybe something you don't even know about me, or it's something that you know a little bit, but it's really important to me for you to share this. Yeah, well, what's something you would throw in?
I think on top of being like open-minded about things, it's like me being adventurous, which is pretty similar, but like I just want to like do things.
Yeah.
So you said they're like trying to find me a wife.
Yeah.
It'd be like he needs someone that he can go out and do stuff with.
Yeah.
And so I would need him to convey that like I just like to do things.
Great.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, so when you say adventure, reflect back, you know, what's the first thing that you can think of that you're like, this was an epic adventure? What pops to your mind?
I mean, since as far back as I can remember, my family is almost every year, almost every summer, we've gone to Colorado, and we go to a town called Salida. And so we'd go there every summer. Me and my dad would mountain bike and hike and all that. And so I think just those moments, like all together, the hikes, mountain biking, that can all be seen as adventurous. And then also, I think 3 summers ago it was, me and my whole family went to Kenya. And so I think that's a huge like adventure that we took just as a family.
Yeah.
And so that was super different, and like
love it.
That takes a lot of being open-minded to kind of experience, because we were out there, we were living in mud huts. It was this town called Pecot. And so that was a huge adventure. We were just out there for about a month in this tiny little village. And so that was, I'd say, probably one of the biggest adventures.
Would you want to go back?
I think so.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was also like, it was fun, but not like a normal vacation, because normal vacation you're just like hanging out.
Yeah.
It was like,
There's some difficulties there.
yeah, there were for sure.
Yeah.
I'd say I would want to go back just because the experience was amazing. It was super different, like kind of opens your eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, we did in 2017, we went to Haiti for a couple months, and I feel like it was the same. I'd have a similar response. Like, yeah, I'd like to go back. It was awesome in a lot of ways, but it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was some, and it's easy to forget the hard things, to when you go back, you got to like sit down and have those conversations. Like, let's remember what we're going into here, because you got, electricity is different, and food is different, and water's different, and sleeping is different, and all those rhythms of life, language, right? Lots of adventure.
Super different. It's,
yeah. So, so now your dad's on the road, and your buddy comes by the next day. Tell me a name of somebody that's a close friend of yours.
I think Nathaniel.
Okay, so Nathaniel comes by, and he's like, "Yeah, let's go hang out." And you're hanging out, and he's like, "What'd you do last night?" You're like, "Well, I'll tell you what I did last night. I sat around the table because my dad's going to set me up with a soon-to-be wife." And he's like, "What? I didn't know about this, and tell me about this." And you tell him the process. And now one of your closest buddies hears this, and he knows you differently than your family knows you. And he's like, "I got to catch your dad. I got to put something into this mix too about my close friend Quentin." And what's he chasing after your dad to maybe tell him?
I mean, probably to tell him that I can be like on top of, like, I can be open-minded about a lot of things, but also I can be stubborn.
Okay.
And so like,
Good.
I think with my friends a lot of times they'll want to do something like, no, I'm not doing that. Like even if I have done that before, I enjoy that. If I don't want to do it that night, I'm not going to do it. And so.
Yeah, you're very decisive, and you plant your flag in the ground, and it doesn't budge.
I think that's probably something he'd say, is I can be stubborn.
Yeah, yeah. So, what are they saying? What are they saying about the emotional side of you? It doesn't matter who you're thinking of, but when you think of like the core emotions, joy, anger, fear, peace. Which one? Tell me about. Let's talk about some of those. So, what gets you frustrated?
I mean, I don't think anger's like a huge thing for me. I don't think I'm very quick to anger. Like I can get frustrated, obviously, if things aren't going my way, if just arguments, but I wouldn't say I'm a very angry person.
Yeah.
Like I can obviously get frustrated and like hold some grudges maybe, but I don't think anger is really one of my defining characteristics.
Yeah. Which one pops out at you on that list that you're like, this one is often me? You're going to find me in this place of like the peace and the joy and the fear.
I think I'd like to say joy, but it's a little different from that. It's like, I like to see others joyful. I like to make others happy. And so it's like, I'll go along with some things.
Yeah.
And so I'd say I like to like foster joy. And so, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Where are you, Can you give me an example of that?
I mean, I think in sports, it's fairly apparent, like, where a lot of people get, like, angry or frustrated. I'll try and keep it, like, still fun for everybody or relaxed. Because I'm not a super competitive person. Like, I obviously get competitive at some things, but I think me being not that competitive drives me to kind of want everybody to have a good time, even if they're being really competitive about it and getting annoyed, getting angry.
Yeah.
I like to see everybody have a good time, and so.
Love it. Yeah, that's a really special quality. Yeah. So when you think about where this person of you you just said a lot of really cool things, a lot of just different colors to who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like so much to capture there, so many special layers, right? I mean, fostering joy for others. I mean, how valuable is that in today's world where there's just a lot of not that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's a lot of like narcissism and people that are selfish and they're so worried they're stressed and they've got anxiety, and there's just so much of that. We hear a lot about that.
Yeah.
And, when you think about somebody that is like your parents would talk about how caring you are, just how open-minded and not judgmental that you are, and some what you could say is stubbornness, or you could just say it could be decisiveness or certainty, knowing what you stand for, knowing where you don't want to bend, and knowing what sounds fun and what doesn't sound fun, adventurous, like so many cool layers. So when you think back to like little Quentin, like what's kind of an age that you think of when you think of little Quentin that you can kind of remember?
I think just like
What age would that be?
like kind of later elementary school, probably.
Yeah.
Like
Fifth, sixth,
fourth, fifth, and sixth. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have a pretty good visual on who that
Yeah.
person was, and what was of the things that you are now, like what do you remember as being very different than who you are now?
I mean, I'm still not super like loud or outgoing or all that, but in elementary school at least, especially younger elementary school, I was really quiet. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't talk to anybody. I had one friend, and then that was about it, just because I didn't talk.
Yeah.
And I think going into older elementary school, I was a little bit more outgoing, but still very quiet, didn't really talk at all. Like, I would never do anything like this, just like sit down and talk to somebody. I just didn't talk at all. Yeah. Super shy, super quiet.
So when did that change?
Probably freshman year, I'd say. Because middle school, I was still, like 7th grade, I was really quiet. 8th grade, a tiny bit more outgoing, and then I think freshman year, I became a lot more outgoing, just because kind of have to in high school if you want to make friends, if you want to like find a group of people. You can't just like stay in your shell and keep to yourself.
Sure.
So I think that's when I kind of made that switch.
Do you remember when you look back at those elementary days of being quiet, not as outgoing, more private? Do you remember being comfortable and having peace about that, or do you remember being stressed?
I mean, I was all right with it, but I remember always seeing like the kids that were super crazy and like out there and being like, how can they do that? Like, why can't I do that? Because I just couldn't. I was so shy. Like, and so I'd see all the kids that are like super loud and I'd be like, I don't know how they do it. And so there was like, because it's easy for the super loud kids to like make friends right off the bat because they're out there talking to everybody, and I was just kind of not talking.
Yeah.
And so that kind of made it hard for me to make friends like when I was super young. And so I think that was something that I like noticed while being quiet.
So I was that way too, and saw what you saw, you know, the other people that were outgoing and connecting and seemed to be having more fun. And I didn't even know what the word introverted or extroverted meant. If I did know, when I did know what introverted meant at some level, I think I looked at that as a negative thing. But I definitely felt stressed in my shyness. And then I know how I became more outgoing. It was like, okay, I need to drink if I'm going to be outgoing. Like that was probably my biggest go-to, which didn't really make, I don't know, as I look back on that, it didn't make me more like a better version of who I was, or like even a true version of who I was. It might have like gotten me over to that other looser side, but I think it probably changed my soul a little bit. So it was kind of this just different person that was outgoing.
Yeah.
So how did you do it? I mean, that sounds like I would think that there would just be a lot of people that are in this shy stage from young to old. And they're probably like us, where they're seeing other people do social skills differently and what they would say is better or attractive. And they want it, but they don't know how to get to it. But the way that you explained it, it sounded like it was pretty simple for you. Like you're like, I saw it, I knew that I had to be more outgoing, and so I did. Was it that simple?
I mean, no, but it also sort of came to me because even while being shyer, while being like quiet, I kind of fell into the friend groups that were with the louder, more outgoing kids. And so I kind of like just grew into it, like became more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Because, throughout like, and it just kind of like ramped up.
Yeah.
Like throughout middle school, I became better friends with like kids who were more outgoing. And so that kind of helped me get out of my shell a little bit. And then like high school too, same thing, like just became part of a friend group that was more outgoing, would go out and do things, talk to people. And so I was like, I'm friends with these people, I have to like kind of be more outgoing if I'm gonna continue these friendships and like be part of that group.
Do you remember, does that all feel more natural, like how it happened, and organic, or does it feel like you were really trying?
I think I did really have to try to like get out of my shell and talk to new people, because that's not something that comes super naturally for me. So like, when we were in situations with like a lot of people I didn't know, I would really have to force myself to go out and talk to people and like be friendly.
Yeah, so can you remember those moments? Like, can you see yourself in certain moments where you had to make that effort?
Yeah, I mean,
because that sounds like, and were you preparing yourself at all for that? Like before you'd go out, or were you thinking about it and like, well, this is how I'm going to make that step? Like kind of planning it?
Because it's something I'd like overthink about a lot. I'd be like, oh, if I go out and don't talk, they're going to be like, oh, why is he here? Like, what's he doing here? And so I would go out with the intentions of like I need to like be outgoing because this whole group's outgoing. If I'm not, then I'm going to stand out and just not fit in there.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I kind of had to force myself to be more outgoing, but as time went on, it became more natural.
Yeah.
And I got more used to it and comfortable in myself being outgoing.
Yeah.
And so it just took some time, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So what was when you were trying to be outgoing, did you ever feel like you were trying to be somebody else in an outgoing way?
Yeah, I'd say so, because there were times when I'd just be like, try and be super loud, try
Yeah.
and be like, I don't know, but yeah, just try
Like
and
whether
be
it's the funny
loud.
guy or
Yeah.
the loud guy or
Uh-huh.
the
Yeah.
witty, yeah.
Yeah. And that's just like not me. I'm not super loud, and so
Yeah.
I'd try and do that, and then I was like, just can't maintain
Yeah.
that.
So what would your version of connection and social, what did it become? You know, because if you have the guy in the group that's like, maybe he's outgoing in his like analytical way, and maybe somebody else is outgoing in their funny way, and somebody else is outgoing in their super curious way. They ask a lot of questions, and you have somebody else that's just really smart, and so they're like using like this education component. They're like teaching people along the way, and then you've got the challenger, you know, in the group that's always just kind of like challenging everything that everybody says. And
Yeah.
so what did you become in that? What did you find that was, what's your style?
I think I became outgoing in like the way that I would just kind of be like, go out and do things. Like I still really wasn't all that talkative, all that loud, but I would just go out and do things with the group.
Yeah.
And I was always somebody that people in the group could talk to.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I was just there. Like,
yeah. So through activity.
Yeah.
You want to go play basketball,
Yeah.
pickleball, throw the frisbee, whatever, and then that just kind of turned into easier opportunities.
I would just like try and be there, just trying to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that story, man. I think that's a really good lesson. Like if I was younger and heard that, that would sound easier to me than what I was making it.
Yeah.
You know, if it's like this math problem, it's like Quentin sees that he wants/needs to be more social. And so Quentin starts thinking about, you know, things that he wants to say. He's preparing a little bit. He's kind of pre-thinking, you know, before he goes into a social situation. And then he tried some things on. He tried to be, you know, the loud guy or whatever, and realized that's not working. And then he found, like, through activity and just being the adventure guy, I would think that probably what came out too is that caring side, the joy facilitator. You know, hey, I've got another idea that sounds fun. Or, you know, if somebody was down about something or stressed about something, that you'd be the guy to find a way to communicate something that might help that person, you know, chill out a little bit. So, so when you think about all these things that you are, what, you know, again, adventure, caring, hardworking, active, stubborn, decisive. What am I missing in there? I feel like I'm missing a big one that you said. When you think about who you are, what are some things that you can point back to and say, this is where that came from? Like, I know that this thing came from my mom because that's just who she is, and I think just growing up with her. Or it could come from the opposite. Like, I know a lot of things that I am might have come from, well, I saw this my dad was super outgoing, and so I didn't have to be. So maybe I became more introverted that way, or and it's not that you necessarily know exactly where it came from, but maybe there was a circumstance in your life where like, I know I became this in this moment or this experience. When you think about the past, where are some places that you can say, yeah, I think that was kind of a catalyst for who I am today? A person, a place, an experience.
I mean, I think in having fairly outgoing friends, I realize that I don't have to be the super loud one or the super talkative one. I can kind of be comfortable in just being the one that people can come to talk to. I
Yeah.
don't have to really like be super loud, make myself super like seen.
Yeah.
And so I think just my friends have kind of shaped who I am
Yeah.
and just like the groups that I've been in. So I think that's a huge part of who's like
Yeah.
shaped who I am now is just my friends.
What about the adventure side? Where does that come from?
I think that definitely comes from my parents because my parents have always been road trip people and we've just always been going on trips just anywhere. And so, yeah, I think definitely my parents for that side. Because,
You always enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah, my parents have always, every summer we've gone on trips. And so I think they just kind of got me used to
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
And you've enjoyed it and you want more of it.
Yeah.
Like you want to keep going big there.
Yeah, and it's also like the sort of trips that we go on. They've never been like resort people or go on like super nice, like expensive trips. We've always gone on trips and stayed in motels and then done some cool outdoorsy thing that was like the bulk of the trip. The trip wasn't like where we were staying or what we were eating, or it was all about like what we were doing and experiencing. So I think that's what kind of got me used to that.
Yeah.
Is just the types of trips that my
you
parents took me on.
You like the way they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. What about the like joy facilitator? Where'd that come from?
I mean,
can you remember a moment that was like where somebody really needed that and you provided it and it felt good? Or is that, can you see where the seeds were planted there?
I mean, maybe in just having siblings, just being empathetic with them and like also just friends, like being empathetic with the people around me, like noticing what's going on with somebody else and trying to be there for them, trying to make them feel better. Yeah. And so I think just trying to be empathetic with the people around me, no matter who that is, but also like siblings at a young age.
Yeah. And do you like middle child?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I've asked you a lot of questions already, so I'm gonna give you the keys for a minute. I'm just gonna give you some like topics, and you just tell me a topic you want to talk about.
All right.
Okay, I'll give you 3 or 4, and then you pick one. Let's go education, AI, cats, social media.
I think education. I'll talk about that.
All right, sweet. So, education, you're going into your senior year of high school. Give me a in your mind, if let's think Google reviews. So 5 stars the best Google review.
Yeah.
With a lot of paragraphs of how great everything is. And the 1 star with like a lot of paragraphs on how bad everything is. Like, what's your Google star rating of your education experience?
I mean, I'd say probably a 4. because it's like, I don't learn very well. Like, it's super hard for me to focus in school. But I think another thing that's like on top of education that school helps with is just like learning how to be with people and make friends and all that. And so I think that's something that school helps teach.
Yeah. Does
And
school help
so-
teach that, or
Well,
does
it's
it
just
just
like,
come out of that?
it just gives you a space for
Okay.
that. I don't think they teach that at all.
Yeah.
But they give you a space for
Yeah.
that to happen. But I think probably a 4, maybe a 3,
Yeah.
just because a lot of classes in school I kind of blow off and don't find any use in. Just, like, trying to think of, can't think of any examples, but there's just things that I'll learn and I'm like, never going to use this, so I kind of blow it off.
Yeah.
And so I think
Not
that's
relevant, not
Yeah.
helpful, can't see a place for this.
Exactly.
Teacher isn't making it connect
Yeah.
to something that matters to me.
Yeah. And there's obviously some things that it's like, it's good to learn that. You're going to use it. And like, I'm probably going to go to college, so there's things that I'll learn and like try and latch onto just because I know I'm going to need it in college, even if I don't need it outside of that.
Yeah.
But I think I only have it at a 3-star just because there's obviously a lot of things that I don't think I'm ever going to use or need.
Yeah. So let's say they're coming to you right now. They call you up and say, we want to meet with you because we love how decisive you are and how you see things and how open-minded you are. And we need to make a decision about school to make it better. It starts in 2 weeks. We need a decision right now. Be clear, be bold. What do we need to change? We can change anything this year, Quentin. And what's something that you're like, hey, I'll tell you what you could do. It might be hard, but if you could do this.
I think condense the school day. I think right now, 7 hours is just excessive.
Yeah.
So much of that time is spent doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Well, at least for me, I spend a lot of that time doing absolutely nothing.
Yep.
And then I won't have any homework. So it's like, what am I even doing at school? And I think that'll be a lot better during senior year because I'll have work release. So that's an automatic like 2 or so less hours of school. But I think, shortening classes or like just making them a little more condensed would be really helpful because I think a lot of kids lose focus when they're in school for that long. I know I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I when I went to high school, I had a similar experience. I felt like it was not I didn't see the purpose in a lot of the things I was doing or most things that I was doing. I definitely can own a lot of that. But for a place that you go and you spend so much time and tax money, and I feel like it could have been much better. And with that, like I didn't have to do that much to get good grades.
Yeah.
And so it was like this weird system where it's just like I know how to pull the levers to get the grades that the colleges want to see. Like you guys don't even have the right system there to like make me really feel accountable. Do you feel that at all with where you're at, or?
Yeah, I'd say so. I feel like for school, they kind of give you a lack of drive. Like obviously you yourself have to kind of have your own drive to get stuff done and to learn, but I think school and like should also do a better job of kind of making their students want to try their best or actually learn. And so I think that's something that could change.
Yep.
I don't know how, but
brag on one teacher real quick where you're like, man, if I had more teachers like this person. If I could reproduce this person, that would be, I would do that right now.
I think my math teacher, Miss Olson, she was great. Just because I'm not a huge math guy, I don't love math, but she taught it, got it done, and then she was like, she'd connect with the kids a lot. And so I talked to her all the time, even just about random things, not school.
Yeah.
And she taught really well, so I was never really confused in that class. I would always get my stuff done, ended with a decent grade, and I just enjoyed being in the class because of her.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sweet, man. It's a bummer that it kind of, I saw you have to like dig a little to think of one person. So I hate that for kids. That shouldn't be the case. But thank goodness for Miss Olson.
I think it's also just the fact that it's school. And so like nobody, or at least a lot of people, don't want to admit that they enjoy any aspect of it, including teachers. So it's like,
yeah.
But
so let's talk about adversity. What kind of adversity do you have going on in your world?
I mean, it's hard. I feel like I have a fairly easy life.
Nice.
Just
love it.
Because of where I was raised and good parents. But
anything in the future that you're seeing as, you know, some fear creep in or stress about, you know, the year ahead or the 2 years ahead?
I think college is something that I can get pretty stressed about, even though I'm not doing a ton about it.
Yeah.
But like, just thinking about where I want to go to college and still have fun, but also set me up for a job.
Yeah.
Because you have to think about having fun. I think that's what I've been thinking about a ton. It's just like, where am I going to have fun in college?
Yeah.
But then you also have to think about education that'll lead you to a job.
Yeah.
And then actually getting a job. And so I think that's something that kind of weighs on me, but also that's way down the road. So I don't think it's something that I have to worry about a ton.
Yeah.
I just have to set myself up well.
What would you love to learn about this year if you could just make it, build your own class or experience? You're just like, you know, maybe it's something you're just really curious about. You haven't learned a lot about it yet, but it's been on your mind, and so you just say, I'd really be into a year of just learning about something that I don't know a whole lot about right now, but I'm really curious about this space, or it's something that you do know something about, and it could be anything. It could be cicadas or surfing or being a travel guide or, you know, some other culture or just anything, food. It's not, be open-minded here. Don't think in terms of like this core, you know, math, science, history, whatever, but just what is interesting to you? What would you just end up, if you're scrolling on your phone and you're watching videos, like sometimes you end up in this one space that draws you in?
I mean, I think for me this sounds really like nerdy, but I mean, I started high jump this year, and so I think learning a lot more about that would be really interesting because I catch myself just watching a ton of videos about it, like the science behind it and how you have to like perform and everything.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I would really like to learn more about.
Yeah. So the body performance, mechanics, strength, mobility,
all
that as it ties into
and not even
jumping.
Not even just like high jumps, like jumping in general, sports in general, athleticism, all that.
What's your go-to right now? Do you have a kind of who's your thought leader in that space right now?
I mean, I wish I could say my coach, but my coach is terrible in South. And so I just practice on my own. During the summer, I've gone almost every day to South, and I just work on my own and watch videos and So I don't really have anybody that I've kind of learned a ton from.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I've just been watching videos.
It's all on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The gosh, man, I want that for you. You know, like here's something that you're really interested in, but yet like there's you don't have the resource, right? Like that shouldn't be that way. You know, fortunately we have online.
Yeah.
That is a nice resource.
Yeah, that's helped a ton.
But that's still just a very solo journey, without probably the like personal communication, like somebody that can just like jump out of the phone and be like, let me watch you move, and you know, let's talk about this, and what are you thinking right here, what are you working on, and yeah, like there's limits to what you can do there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's something that can make it a little more difficult to improve and get better, is with having a coach that I don't know if she's ever jumped. So it's like I kind of have to teach it all to myself, which I mean doesn't bother me a ton because I feel confident learning and like teaching myself. But at some point that can only get me so far.
Yeah. Is there anybody on the team that is maybe in the same boat where you're like, I know that they really are interested in doing well, and I know that they're a hard worker, and I know that they're curious and on their own? Is there anybody that...
Yeah, not within high jump. There's not very many jumpers, but I have a friend who sprints, and he does a ton of workouts by himself. He trains all the time, and so I've trained with him a couple times, and he's...
Yeah. Well, what's the, is that a spring sport?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, maybe if somebody will see this like in the Overland Park area or Johnson County area, another, you know, other athletes that are like, I'm in the same boat, but I'm going to reach out to Quentin, let's train together, and, you know, let's share some thought leadership and accountability and challenge and encouragement. Maybe it'll happen that way.
Yeah.
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 Would you be open to that?
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I would love, it's unfortunate that it's out, there's like no high jumpers. It's really, I'm the only varsity high jumper right now, and I don't know if any freshmen will come in and do it. We'll see. But at other schools, there's some really good kids, so I think. And at the very beginning of summer, I was doing this club with other kids from other schools who were all kind of doing their own thing and came together, and so that was cool.
Yeah.
But.
So can you think of moments in your life, you know, we were talking about a little bit of like how you became who you are. Are there also just like, do you ever kind of have an open mind or curiosity or understanding of how like other forces in life are at play? Like you can't name it, like it's not that this person is helping me become this, or it's not that this experience, but I've like become something and I don't even know how it came to be, but it just kind of came about. Like, I don't know what the right word is. It's probably like a personal word, but like the universe just kind of like, it came from there, or it came from magic, or it came from God, or it came from aliens. I don't know. Like, do you ever think about other forces outside of the things that we see that are at play?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Christian, so I go to church every Sunday, so I think God kind of shapes who I am, but it's also like hard when you can't see like what's shaping you. it's hard to like believe in that force. And so I think my faith is something that's shaped me, but it's also like something that I've struggled with.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to like kind of be consistent in that.
Yeah. Does it, do you feel like you're in a place where you've made faith kind of your own recipe? Are you there yet? Or are you still kind of taking the recipe that's given to you?
I mean, sort of. I've like kind of put my own spin on some things and like kind of process things on my own. But there's obviously still like things that I don't really know, and so I mean, yeah, it's kind of back and forth.
Yeah.
Like,
does it feel safe to do that, or scary to do that, to like personalize it, or to wonder different things, or to explore outside the boundaries of what's traditional? What does that feel like?
I think within my church it feels pretty safe because I'm really close with one of the leaders at my church, and he's made me feel comfortable in being open-ended about everything. And so I don't think it's really scary at all, but it can definitely be like difficult to piece together like what I believe.
Yeah.
But he's kind of helped me like kind of weigh those things and figure it out. But
does it have any does your faith have any pillars to it where you're like, I know this one component of this big thing called faith and Christianity and spirituality, like here's this one component that I feel really sure about, that or does it all seem just a little bit loose?
I mean, at this point it still feels pretty loose. There's obviously like, this doesn't even have to be like just for Christianity, but it's just like being a good person.
Yeah.
And like that's really broad, but that's something that's kind of,
you're sure about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, it's obviously, I'm not a perfect person obviously, but I try to be a good person, and so I think that's something that faith helps with and that I try and work towards.
Yeah.
And
there's already, I mean, there's try in there, but there's already things in you that are just true that you're not trying on. I mean, to be a facilitator of joy and peace, that's just who you are. I don't feel a lot of trying going on there. I feel that's what my soul is.
And I mean, obviously there's still like, but I can still be selfish. I can still like, there's still huge
you're
flaws,
not that all the time. But you probably pick up on that, and are more active in that way than the normal person or the normal Christian even. Like, you're probably, for you to say that out of the gate when I'm just asking you what people would say about you, like that's already a part of how other people are seeing you, which I think everybody would want somebody to say that about them. But I think there's very few people who would actually like say Quentin's different because he like is a facilitator of that. He's looking for that. He's aware of that. That's cool. Yeah. So when you think about the becoming, we're both knee bouncers. I can tell. Like Rachel, my wife, is always like, I'll just feel a hand, like on my
I'm always
knee.
fidgeting.
I'm like, she's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm great.
Yeah.
Like I got like good energy going. So going back to the education thing, like you said something that was interesting. One, like that was the topic you picked you want to talk about. You talked about just like how you haven't been in a system that's been incredibly like inspiring or helpful at times. and now you're like faced with the next 4 years of education, but you said, I'm looking to go, I want to go have fun and I want to get a job. And so I know I have to do college.
Yeah.
Do you have to do college to get those things?
No, I don't think so. I think you can go a ton of different routes. I think college is the most normalized route. Yeah. But I have some of my really good friends one of my good friends is going to be a firefighter, so he's training to do that right now.
Yeah.
And then, But, I don't think you have to go to college at all. I think it's just the most normalized thing. And I think not even just to like get a job, I just want to go because it'll be fun. I think it'll be a good experience. But, I don't think you have to go to college in order to be successful whatsoever. I think some of the most successful people don't go to college.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know if I have the drive to be successful without college.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So, and it might be, you don't know if you have the drive. What if you like zoomed out a little bit and said, I don't know if I have the drive to be successful without a learning system or accountability system. Yeah. Which could be college, could be something else, right? Could be an apprenticeship. It could be work that you go do. But so to recognize, like, I need something that is giving me some kind of a experience, consistency program, if you will, curation of learning, and I need something that brings accountability to it. That might be college, right? Could be a lot of other things. So let's play with that for a minute. So, big adventure guy, very open-minded, knows he wants to work and make money. Everybody pretty much just has to do that, like unless you just have a bucket of money, right? So if you don't have that, you want to earn an income, that you want to have some fun. What if you didn't know what you wanted to study in college and you were just thinking about the fun side of it? And so you're just thinking about and maybe we'll break it down. We won't even think about the 4 years, but it's just like, what like kind of creeps in that would be a wonder about going and doing something fun for a year? What sounds fun for a year that is not college, that might have some great learning with it?
I've always thought about just like taking a gap year and just traveling. I think that would be sick. Just doing that by myself or even with friends. I think that would be something that would be really cool, and that would kind of teach me to live on my own, take care of myself, take care of just all my own affairs and everything. And so I think taking just a year or so just to travel around, like no plan really. I think that would be something that could be really beneficial, and I could learn a lot from that. Would you have
the funds to just travel around without work?
No.
So you would need to work.
Okay. But I feel like there's so many different types of work that I feel like I could figure that out. I don't know what I would do to figure that out, but it doesn't have to be just like a 9-to-5 or like work at a fast food restaurant. I could do something completely different that I can do while I'm on the road, or something that doesn't take a ton of my time.
Have you made money in high school? How have you made money in high school?
I mean, for a little while, one summer, me, Max, and Kieran were window washing. And then last summer, throughout the school year, and this summer, I've nannied for the same family. And so that's been my main thing. I also worked at Topgolf sophomore year. But nannying has been the majority of my money making.
And how many kids?
3. It's 3 boys.
3 boys. How old?
One's a 3rd grader, fifth grader, and then one's going into freshman year.
Okay.
So right now I just like drive them places and drop them off, and then hang out with the younger two. And
Love it.
It's a great job. It's so nice.
Yeah. So what do those parents? I mean, that's a big responsibility, huge, to be like, you are going to take care of the safety, the logistics, the emotion, of 3 children. So you did that for a year?
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you do that every day?
Almost. I've done over the summer. I do it Monday through Thursday.
Okay.
So
and you had fun. You enjoyed that.
I love it. It's just because before they got me, they had only had girl nannies, which the 3 boys with a girl nanny isn't going to work out super well. And so I showed up, and we just we play basketball, we go to the pool.
Yeah.
It's barely even a job.
Yeah.
Because they're old enough to where they can take care of themselves.
Yeah.
I just drive them places and play sports with them, basically.
Yeah.
So,
do you have any responsibilities in terms of food and any education, any rest times, stuff like that?
I mean, I just have to make sure they get fed. Usually it's just, I show up in the morning, so breakfast, make sure they all eat breakfast.
Yeah.
Lunch, and then they eat dinner with the parents.
Yep.
So just making sure they eat decently.
Yep.
And then none of them really get tired at all. They have so much energy, so I don't have to worry about them resting. And then
what about cleaning?
Cleaning, the parents said make sure that they clean up after themselves. I will clean up after them a fair amount, but they're pretty respectful. They know to clean up after themselves. And
yeah. Do you ever get any stories from those parents? It's like, hey, my boys had fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like an obvious thing that happens. But what other stories come out of that from the parents in terms of ways that you're helping shape these young people outside of the fun that the parents might put in their Google review about you? Tell me something about...
I think just kind of keeping them in check. They're a little wild.
Yeah.
And so just making sure that they're doing the right thing and not going berserk is something that is probably the biggest struggle with them, having 3 younger boys.
You have to manage it. You have to manage
so just
all the...
making sure that they're respectful when we're out in public doing stuff.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the biggest things.
Yeah. Do you like that part of it?
Yeah, it can be difficult sometimes, but they're funny. So it's even if they're causing trouble or something, it's never destructive or causing anybody else a ton of issues. So I can shut it down, and it's and still have fun. It's I'm able to keep them in check while making sure they're still having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of balancing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you were to go to an area of the world for a year, I mean, where are you going? South America, Europe, some part of the US, Canada, Hawaii,
I mean, I've been to Hawaii once, and it was incredible. I'd love to go back, but it's small, so there's not a ton of traveling you can do around Hawaii. But I mean, I wouldn't mind just staying in the U.S. and going all over, exploring. I love Colorado, so being in the mountains would be huge for me.
Yeah.
And then, I think just Colorado, Utah, around that area. I think that'd be probably my go-to.
What if a family wanted you to do some education, like a homeschool family or a micro school online family, and they said, we both work, we really value our kids doing this curriculum or this experience, or field trips, like when you bring in that like organizer or facilitator of education in the middle, does that like cause you to think I'm out, or do you think I could do that?
I think I could do it. Yeah, I feel like I could do
Yeah.
that.
Well, maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something with this, like, maybe that's just another option when you're thinking about fun and learning, and you've got this college thing, and then you have this like, I'm gonna go live 3 months in Montana, 3 months in Florida, 3 months in Delaware, and I'm gonna like traveling nanny my way there.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have this work time, and I'm gonna have this free time, and I'm just gonna experience life in a way that I know sounds better to me. Maybe that's just something you play with a little bit, because I think it doesn't seem to me like that's any harder or less of an experience than college.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of like, what's in you, what do you want, what are you ready for, what seems to be. I mean, a year is a big investment, whether you go to college or you go do something like this.
Yeah.
And it's your time to be decisive, and so maybe if anything, you just kind of like play with that idea with friends, with parents. Process through it. The college thing is already kind of processed for us because it is so normalized. It's like there's not a lot of processing there, but maybe if you just start talking about it more, you'll be able to feel it.
Yeah. Just like figure out what I want to do.
Yeah, you got time to figure out what you want from a big picture. You have time to explore and be open-minded right now. Yeah. So what else, like in terms of like the becoming side, when you think about, when you kind of survey yourself of like who you are now and where you come from, and which one of those things just really, maybe just resonated a little bit different? It was like a reminder of who you are, but you want to be more of, or it triggered some other new thing in you, or it just like gave you it made you more focused on this part of who you are that you kind of want to double down on it. Like you want to make sure that this is who you are this year.
I think just being empathetic, I'd like to kind of channel that and always be somebody that other people feel comfortable being around, or feel comfortable talking to, or know that I can like be there for them.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I'd like to work on and like kind of continue.
Are you already, would you say, I know you don't like to pat yourself on the back, but can you tell that there's already something there that's really good? Like, I know there's an interest in it, but can you tell, like, when you're in those situations, that you're able to be a vehicle, that empathy doesn't just feel good to you, but it matters to them?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because that empathy thing, that's a really interesting thing. Do you play with AI or read about AI? Is that in your world at all?
No, it's not a ton.
Well, what I love about what you're saying here is, they keep talking about AI, like replacing work and all the things that it can do. And I use AI quite a bit. I love it. But one of the big words that comes out all the time about what AI will never be able to do is empathy. And so as you think about college or this like learning experience where there's fun involved, I would think about that word a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
All right.
Like, it is a part of your fabric. It came out at the very beginning of our conversation. And then when I asked you like what you want to become more of, that's what you picked.
Yeah.
Of all the things you could pick to start a conversation with and then to return to double down on, you didn't pick adventure.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't pick being more decisive. You didn't pick being more open-minded. You didn't pick being more like those are all things that you are, but you picked empathy. Like that's something speaking to you there. Like that's, if you went in to AI, use ChatGPT or Grok or anything like that. So if you just said what are the jobs where empathy is like the number one core heartbeat of the job, list those jobs for me. Or list those study paths, those degrees for me, you might find something that is like, that's me. Or that's what I'm super curious about.
Yeah.
And then you just bring the fun alongside it. Where do I want to go have fun becoming more empathetic in a way that creates financial stability? There's a lot there.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're a grateful person? You spend much time thinking about?
Try to be, but I think there's obviously still tons of things that I take for granted and like kind of just go over my head that I should be grateful about. But I mean, I'd say I'm pretty grateful about just where I am in life and the things I have.
So, not a can't do the programmed response here, right? Like what should I say? There's no like what should I say? It's just what is in you that you just know. I mean, this is at the top of my list of what I'm grateful for. Something way up there.
I think probably my friends.
Yeah.
Just that seems like a pretty normal thing to say, but I think just they've helped me come a long way, and people who are always there for me, and I think that's something that I'm super grateful for.
Yeah. When you say help me come a long way, what are you thinking about?
And just in like my own personality, just maturing as a person, learning who I am. And obviously I'm not done with that yet, not done for a long time, but I think they've just helped me become comfortable in who I am at this point.
Yeah.
So I think just my friends.
Yeah, that's sweet. And how did they, I mean, it sounds pretty, I want you to talk more about it, but as I listen to you talk about how like your social side changed from elementary to middle to high school, and you're with a lot of outgoing people and all that, like to me it sounds like what they did was they just allowed you to be you and there was no shame. Is that, but you talk about it like, because I might have just made that up, but that's kind of what I heard in that. But give me Quentin's experience. Like what did they do to help? What was the help? What was in the help?
I think just them being themselves, like since as I said, I've pretty outgoing friends, just seeing them be themselves and them being outgoing made me more comfortable in myself.
Yeah.
Just being like true to myself. And so even if they weren't like directly influencing me, just by like seeing how they acted and seeing how they were like pretty just like just in like seeing how like my friends acted and how they were like themselves and outgoing and all that just made me more comfortable in being myself around them. And so I think that's how they helped me.
Yeah. So, like their confidence in themselves.
Yeah.
And not having, because they could just be who they were without over engineering or trying to bring others into it and make somebody something or whatever. They were just, they were very solid in who they were. How they consistently did that gave you confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so did you just compare that to like what it could have been? Like what do you see in your world where it's like, if I was with another group, I could see how it wouldn't have been helpful. I would have gotten lost or felt stressed. And how does that group behave different from, how do individuals, what's the norm, or what's the, what type of person would not make you feel what they felt?
I mean, I think a lot of people can get stuck in like kind of fake friend groups where they'll like be friendly to each other's face and then like talk bad about each other behind their back, or like just not be, it's like more than just not being a good friend. It's like they're just not being themselves to you.
Yeah.
They kind of like change how they act around
Definitely.
everybody else.
Yep.
And so that kind of makes the friendship a lot more shallow.
Yeah.
You're like, do I really know this person? If you
Yeah.
like see how they act around you and then see how they act around somebody else and it's completely different, but who actually is that person?
Right.
And so I think a lot of people get stuck in friend groups like that, and that can be really detrimental. But
it causes you to question a lot of things and get head trash about what's real and what's true.
Yeah, and it can just cause a lot of like drama within friend groups and everything, and I don't see much of that at all within
that is special.
my group.
Did you just get lucky, you think?
I mean,
or did you somehow move towards people like that?
I think kind of both. Like, I think I did get lucky, but also I think we also just have a pretty good like class of boys at South.
Yeah.
Like all of them are pretty good friends with each other, and so we all just kind of coexist.
When you see other friend groups like your sisters, or just when you look into what's coming up in the younger generation, does it seem like there's more of that coming or less of that coming?
I'd say probably less. Yeah. I'd see like even with the kids I nanny, they'll be like, oh, we're friends with that guy, but it's not inviting this time. We're not like, or it's just like little things like that.
Yeah.
And then like also, I feel like that happens a lot in like the high school girlfriend groups in our class. Is like they'll kind of be like backhanded towards each other.
Yeah.
Like they're like friends, but I think it's also just that they're not like secure in themselves.
Yeah.
So they will put their friends down to feel better about themselves, or like it's just that like
Yeah. Yeah, I see that too. So, if you were going to be more grateful, it would be at the top of that list, which I'm sure you'd have a lot of things up there, but the friend group would be one.
Mm-hmm.
How can you think of a time where you've actually said that to your friends or a friend,
Like that I'm grateful for them.
and why? You're, like, have you told any of them like parts of this story, like what they allowed you to become and what they allowed you to feel, or is that something that hasn't been spoken?
I don't know if I've told them, but I'm sure they've seen it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us went to middle school together, and so I'm sure they saw me because I was a lot quieter then, and so I'm sure they saw me kind of come out of my shell as I became friends with a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I've said it, but I'm sure they've kind of witnessed it.
Yeah. So when you think about this conversation, or even outside of this conversation, just where you're at in life, tell me about some commitments that the friend of you, Quentin, your own friendship with yourself, what does it, what are you committing to that, to yourself in these days? Like, what's something that going into this year feels like a commitment to your being? I know you talked about the empathy piece. That's part of, that's definitely like, you've already mentioned that. Is there anything else? Is it with, the track? Is there some commitment there? You could call it a goal, you could call it a commitment, you could call it like a focus.
Just like a goal throughout the school year, is that what you mean?
Yeah, just in the next year, do you have any like vision that you've been playing with that you're kind of in a time of decisiveness around, like making some decisions for yourself?
I think just throughout the school year, I'd like to become like better friends with people that I'm not super good friends with. Like, I know the senior class that just graduated, they had a big friend group of like girls and boys who were all pretty close. And we don't really have that. A lot of the girls don't like the guys, and then a lot of the guys don't like the girls. But I think it'd be cool to kind of have us all become friends. I don't know if that would be possible, but even just like becoming friends with people that I'm not super good friends with right now, I think that would be cool.
Yeah. Do you search people out that are like, even like way outside of these like groups that you probably see in a lot of different spaces? Do you have this, do you have any attraction or desire to friend the person that looks like they don't have a friend? I imagine there's some of that at school where you see the person at the lunch table or sitting outside after school on the bench that it's just like, man, I don't know if that person is happy or connected, or are you keen on that at all? Do you kind of think about that or feel for that?
For sure. I try and just be nice to all the kids that I don't see like with people all the time, or like even if I'm not becoming best friends with them, just being friendly, like in passing with them. Try and just be nice.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's not hard. It's just like saying hi or simple things.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, your empathy magic. Your empathy is magic. Like it's all over your story. I just wonder, I'm excited for you to just, do you see that as you like talk through this, how it's just all over your story?
A little bit.
The do you see it as being unique, or do you see it as like this is normal?
I mean, I think it's somewhat unique. I think
Yeah.
everybody can be empathetic, but
Yeah.
it comes easier to some people than others, I think.
Yeah. Well, I see a lot for you there. And I think, how do you rest? What's rest look like to you? Not like sleep, but just outside of that, like what's rest to you outside of sleep? Where do you go to? Is there a space that you go to? Is there a behavior or a habit that you do to rest? Is there music that you listen to rest? What's rest look like?
Yeah, I mean, I listen to music all the time, and then I think this sounds like it's like the opposite, but I go to the gym like every night, and so that's something that I kind of use to wind down.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, it kind of seems like the opposite of rest, and I mean, physically it is, but mentally it's just nice to just go listen to music.
Yeah.
So I think that's something I do.
How much time do you spend unplugged thinking about yourself?
Not a ton.
Yeah. Is this time right here, like, we probably talked for an hour and a half. How's that compared to like the last month of time that you've spent thinking about yourself?
I mean, it's very different.
Yeah.
I went day-to-day life, this like never happens, but a few weeks ago I went on a church trip to Colorado, and stuff like this happens just on that trip.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think I just like sit down and like think or talk.
Yeah. How does it feel when you do it? Does it feel right? Does it feel good? Does it feel uncomfortable? Does it feel like, what are the things that you feel when you do something like this?
I mean, it's a little uncomfortable. You kind of have to get used to it, but it's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like gives you a little break and gives you like an outside view of yourself.
Yeah.
And that's not something that happens naturally at all. You have to seek it out, but so it's uncomfortable, but it's nice.
Yeah. I think that we're reflecting, there's so much noise. There's a lot of noise tonight. I mean, we've had lawn mowing, and these cicadas are crazy loud. But just in life, there's so much distraction, right? And a lot of it is fun, and a lot of it is exciting. And, it sounds like, for you to say, I mean, it sounds like you have a lot of peace in the noise, but you can have, you could probably have like peace in the noise, but like miss yourself a little bit. Like you're just going and moving, and, you're there for others, and you're busy with things that you have to do, whether it's school or work or, track and just all that. And it's like the days can go by, and we can it just can kind of be like these waves that are just like rolling in nonstop, and it's hard to see yourself. I know that I really struggled with that in my life, and I'm trying to like stop the waves now every once in a while, and just so I can see a little bit. It's like if you're standing in the waves, have you ever stood in the ocean in the waves, right? Like they're coming at you and you're just reacting. You're like trying to stand up and you're having some fun, but if it just settles down, you can like kind of just focus out a little bit. You can just, you can see things differently. And so stopping those waves, it takes like this intentionality. It takes like unplugging of some things, and to either be pursued by somebody else, or, you know, just as good for Quentin to pursue Quentin.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, my hope is that maybe just there's something in this conversation that you go, you know, maybe before you're like, I wouldn't even have known what to reflect on. And maybe after a conversation like this, or when you go on these other trips, like, you're just like, that's something I want to reflect on. I don't want to lose that in the waves.
Yeah.
I want to create some space, some time. It could be before you go to bed. You're just lying in bed and you just unplug the noise, and you're just like, I'm just going to think about a couple of things that are Quentin tonight. And I'm going to feel those things. I'm going to wonder about those things. I'm going to be curious. Be curious about Quentin, because it's just extraordinary how much there is to you.
Yeah.
And I think it wants to be seen. And, you know, if we can't see it, then you know, it might be hard to know if it's unique or not, or if we care about it or not, or so if you were to like grab 10 minutes somewhere, somehow in a week to just hang with Quentin, what would that look like for you? What would you do? Like, where would you be? What would the environment be? Where would you go?
I mean,
what time of day?
Probably just like at night in my bed right before I sleep.
Yeah.
Just instead of being on my phone, unplugging and just thinking without any other distractions.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, just being on my phone gets in the way of that a lot of the time. Yeah. But yeah, I think it'd probably just be right before I go to sleep.
Yeah. I think that the phone, I mean, it can be a tool too.
Yeah.
Like, you could write something on your phone.
Yeah.
You know, have a conversation with yourself. Like, when you write it or say it, I think it, like, you can feel it differently.
Yeah, I agree.
And so maybe your phone is a tool, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna like write something that I think is true, or I'm gonna write something that I think is interesting, or I'm gonna write a question to myself, or I'm just gonna like search a little bit. And I'm telling you that I just see so many incredible things about who you are, especially this empathy piece that's jumping off the page to me. But that's not for me to tell you to be interested or curious or feel unique in that. I'm not. That's for you to claim.
Yeah.
Right? And it's for you to be stubborn about. And so it's just like right now it's just one old man telling you, like, this is what I see, and now you gotta like take it and see what you see.
Right. Yeah.
And then if you see something, it's like, okay, what am I gonna do with this? Like, is this like a little superpower here that would be fun to play with, you know, or is that not exciting, and you know, I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah.
So maybe you have like, maybe this week, maybe this month, you have some 10 minutes, like, just kind of having that like wonder about Quentin. And 'cause I just don't want you to miss. A lot of people are getting some wonderful things from you, and you're up against a new chapter here of life post high school. And I want to know what Quentin can be. I love the friendship connection that you have, but I want to know what you would take with you wherever you go as friend groups change, people move, and people change, and people's cities and locations change, and directions and distractions and all that. Like, I just want to know what you're like, you know what? I'm packing, like, I know that if I'm in this new community in, was it Kenya?
Yeah.
If I'm in Kenya, like, or if I'm in somewhere in the US, like, I really know what I'm taking with me and what I'm looking for and what I want to be for the community that I'm in. And then I'm going to let that play out.
Yeah.
And I think you already have a really good sense for these things. I don't think it's something that was lost on you. You're the one who told me about empathy. I didn't tell you, right? So you already have a good sense for it. It's just, I wonder if what would happen if you put the spotlight on it a little bit.
Yeah.